With a yo ho ho, it's Tale of the Toaster. Welcome back to Let's Play Inazuma 11 Go Chrono Stones Thunderflash. In the last episode, we arrived here at Zhuge Liang's fort in ancient China, and we're going to carry on climbing it this time. It's another one of those strange puzzles. How are we going to solve this one? You're probably in the exact same way as before, pal. No need to worry. Looks like you just need to light the torches, same as before. Wait, no. Boom! Ah! I guess that was a miss. What? Looks that way. This is no laughing matter. Hey, don't worry about it. We can just try again, see? You didn't even know if something terrible would happen. The roof might have fallen in. Booby traps, poison arrows, evil curses. And small, irritating French boys shouting at you is the conclusion we got. So there's actually two of these torches now, so there's a slight bit of gameplay involved, and I'm pretty sure I missed there. Yeah, I was way off. But I obviously did it on purpose to show that if you miss, then you need to retreat back to the centre and pick up the ball manually. They don't just give it to you for free. And we do indeed have two different torches to light here. So you've just got to... I mean, what might help? I can't really do it with my capture board setup, but if you are playing on console legally, then you could just, like, hold your full console at an angle so that the torch and the right brazier is pointing straight up. I can't be bothered fixing this, so I'm just going to miss and reset the... Oh no, I got it, let's go! Yeah, if I tried the tilt my console strategy, then all my recording wires would pop out, and this would be a failed take. But if you're seeing this on YouTube, congratulations, this wasn't a failed take. Clearly I must have done well. Good work. Mr. Evans, are you sure it was Liu Bei you were thinking of for this Ultimate 11 thing? An Iron Wall goalkeeper with the power and toughness to subdue an empire. It looks like he has the potential, but... He's not even listening. That's the best way to avoid this kind of awkward situation. I don't blame you, Mr. Evans. Dip from that one, because, yeah, Liu Bei not showing up the best. Can we Miximax with Zhang Fei instead and just get his loud voice? I'm going to do this random encounter, even though I really shouldn't, because from the process of the matches I did... Oh, they're bringing out a fighting spirit? Excuse me? Alright, we're having a spirit duel against Demogorgon in a random encounter. Demogorgon was one of the rarest fighting spirits in the entire game of Inazuma 11-1. Go 1, thank God fighting spirits weren't in the very first game. Genuinely, it was only like an S rank reward in one of the competition routes, and now random encounters out here using it on us. Well, I hope that nets us some good experience gain, except I also don't hope that, because yeah, I'm over leveled already for the next story match, and then it just kind of will get even worse by virtue of doing this. But I wanted the competition route reward from Steve's route, so we did it. And Gyro Blocker here is actually a Protocol Omega move that's using its real name for once. I believe it was the goalkeeper of 3.0 that we beat in the last chapter who showed that move off. Well, there you go, more Roma screen time. That's not so bad. Is this another bird that says tweetle tweet? Well, the last bird got its text translated, but not this time it would appear. Let's head for some more football kicking action. Oh, this is starting to look like The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass now. Let me solve this next puzzle. How about you leave it to us from now on? Wow, JP. JP, literally how are you going to Miximax with this guy if you're just so upset at the thought of him just doing anything? Meanwhile, this is now color coordinated, so we need to fire these flammable balls through the red braziers into the red torches and through the blue, through the fire and flames, yes, into the color coordinated one. Is that about right? See how hard it can be to touch on these things sometimes. I missed by the narrowest margin. Ah! Well, if this was a speed run, then I'm restarting the run now. It's all the way back to chapter 1, is it? Not that Inazuma 11 is even remotely a speed runnable game. Like, Tom Spoors even suggested ones like a year ago, hey, TaleOfTheToaster, do you want to do an Inazuma 11 versus? And I just straight up said, no, because all matches are the same length no matter what, and the only way we could save time is to mash through dialogue. So much as I want to have more Inazuma 11 projects to do, yeah, I'm not sure if that's the idea. But hey, there's still the rest of this game, and then there's waiting for Aries to get localized. Brilliant, I did it! Great, let's go, Arion. He didn't look too enthused while saying that.
Are you going to let that pipsqueak get away with talking to you like that?
I can see where he's coming from. It takes practice to perfect an art. Well, that's surprisingly understanding of you to say. Let's have a look at another round. Bailong, you are très cool. I should think so. Oh, come on, you guys. Don't keep going on about it. There's just getting more and more characters that I want to read. It's not just Adekebe. Redone! And that kind of stuff. Now we've got all the Goldie lines and all the Bailong lines. Je regrette. JP, you should probably not be chatting on the blog right now. Your bad mood's just going to come off on anyone. But, the welcome pie, that is what we want. Lone Wolf Victor Blade is telling me to be... There will be food. Bailong, did you not realise this? Food's definitely on the menu, right? I mean, it's not been confirmed, but I would imagine that is the case. But what would Sol Daystar be talking about at this point in time? I genuinely don't know, because I had never played Wildfire before starting this game. But I'm in the process of playing it now, but I can't exactly play the two chapters side by side, because the whole point of that save file, aside from Sol Daystar coverage, I'm running from this to not get overleveled. It's not like there's any consequences for forfeiting anyway. But yeah, I mean, aside from being able to record Sol Daystar coverage on it, the other point of that is to be an LP backup save file. So if I just played them side by side, then I might lose my backup as well as the main save file in the event of a failure. Hey, what's this? They look like statues made from clay.
They are from the Terracotta Army.
There's something unsettling about them. Yeah, let's get out of here. How many of them were there exactly? My suspicions are raising. It's just that I love how the topic is just called "Can I come over and play?" That's so very innocent. But and then the actual conversation itself is Aitor talking about Spotter the dog wanting to bite you. And I'm not sure I'd like to meet those horrid beasts. What have the managers been cooking today? JP's face, apparently. Oh, they're on about lemons. I love me a lemon. Pancakes are my favourite food. And when I say pancakes, I mean crepes. French style, not American pancakes. I've tried my very best to like American pancakes, but every time I have them, I just wish I was having crepes. And then I've just started to go off them altogether. But hey, you are. Until I say otherwise, if Versiers aren't allowed to write on the inner link, Bailong, how old are you? Okay, he's at least a second year. We're good. Right. Moving on. The doors are locked. What are we going to do? Is it just me? Or are those statues closer than they were before? They can't be. Bailong? They just... They moved? Ah! This is crazy.
It's another trick. They move by hidden mechanisms, that's all. What does that sign say? Show me your strength by battling my servants. If you win, you will be granted your wish. Zhuge Liang.
Zhuge Liang? We have to fight them if we ever want to meet Zhuge. Right, I'll be your goalkeeper. Wrong! I'll do it! I'm the one who wants to meet with Zhuge. That makes it my responsibility. How will I ever get a meeting if I don't win this battle myself? Someone back me up, I'm playing! The goalie has to protect the goal! They're the team's very last defense, which means they need to be absolutely trustworthy. They need to be cautious and level-headed, and you're neither! JP? If caution doesn't lead to action, then it's meaningless. What? JP, you know there's no turning Liu Bei away once he's made up his mind. Let it go. It'll be fine. We're not playing El Dorado. But...
Listen to Liu Bei.
Put me down! I have to protect football! Liu Bei, you'd better protect football, or else... I understand where JP's coming from, but it's probably better for him to sit this one out. Yeah... And that was him removed from the pitch. I don't know if you still need him to be in the squadron itself. You probably do. I did kind of remove him altogether in the last episode, so I may need to sub him back in. There's a gold chest over here, but you cannot do anything about that at present, unfortunately. Not until I've proceeded a rapid pace.
There's definitely something fishy about all this! Science! Witchcraft! Something!
You're not wrong. I would go with engineering out of those, but yes, Liu Bei needs to be your goalkeeper, and JP needs to be among you once again. Oh, they've both been kicked out. Well, isn't that handy? Hugh managing to sneak his way in, and I'd love to keep him there. He even had the goalie kit on, but yeah, until he gets a move, then I'm not so inclined to have him there. Let's go with this. And then obviously move them into the way. Liu Bei is already in position. I'm going to keep Bailong up there. Faye, I think you were a forward in the last match, but you can do that again, sure. You haven't done anything in a while. Let's run a bit of Lucian Dark. Yeah, Victor can sit this one out. And Ricardo. And Roma. I don't know why I'm making this so hard for myself on purpose, but we've got Bailong, it's fine. I'll tell you what, I never thought I'd play footy against a load of statues. This'll be a piece of cake! I can't believe they've put that fine goal. Raimon are going to lose so badly. JP, you're not that good, mate. Steady on. It's not all about you. I mean, yeah, it is more the fact that Liu Bei is a bit rubbish so far, but you never know. He hasn't actually been tested as a goalkeeper. He just abandon his position, that all. Why does Terracotta Army have the Protocol Omega theme, and do they have different descriptions? Yes, they're worried that it's all going to pot. This is why I always check these things. Oh, they do make me laugh. It's just like the robot guards. Oh, the football bots. Sorry, the robot guards are from Inazuma 11 2. The football bots are from Inazuma 11 Go Chrono Stones. We're here in the Terracotta Hall for a genuine 11-a-side full-length match. Does it have an objective?
Tick-tock, we will not make allowances for you.
Ah, how can they be so agile? And it's actually full power as well, so don't even bother trying to engage with it. Otherwise, you're just going to have more cutaways, wasting more time. Just run out of the way and let it use its electric impedance or whatever. I'd never even heard that word before I played this game. Well, accelerator gears. This is quite a fun one, actually. They're even using special moves. I'll save it.
Your skills are unmatched, brother!
I admit that was a good save. Oh no, did that catch hurt your arms?
You are injured.
It's nothing, just a twinge. I decided to do this, so I'm seeing it through to the end. I really hope you can. Well, you've changed your tune, mate. What's going on now? One cutscene and he's changed his mind. But fair enough, we go into free play now. And indeed, free conversation I can use as an opportunity. With Bailong, I'm going to demonstrate his brand new move, Warp Step. A very, very powerful dribbling move to the point where it has already used up over half of his TP gauge, and really I should be using a fighting spirit to try and score here, but you know, this is not a story relevant match and they don't have any fighting spirits to use against you, so I'm gonna try not to use any either. In fact, I wonder if I could go an entire match using only regular shots, considering I'm a goal in the lead already. That could be a nice little objective. Well, I see. Right then. It's time to take everything back. It's alright, I can still try and cope. We have special tactics to take the ball off the fighting spirit user. That might be a way to do it. Now, let's keep the challenge mode going. Let's not use any fighting spirits. Still use me special moves for dribbling and stealing the ball and whatnot, and clearly that was good enough. So we will do that, and then go back to talking about Warp Step on Bailong, because the main thing of interest is its element, because it's a Void type move. And the Void type is given to very, very few moves in the Inazuma 11 series, because it's meant to be like the hidden, all-powerful one that only generally belongs to like villains of previous games and really, really good non-story relevant players. But Bailong was a really good non-story relevant villain in the previous game, and I don't know if they had already thought about the fact that he was going to be joining your team. But now, yeah, he just has this mega move that's Void type in his regular moveset. So let's talk about the impact of that then, while I go for a glue. What makes Void type so good exactly? Well, it's the fact that it doesn't have any weaknesses or, indeed, any advantages. There is a whole elemental quad, I guess you'd call it. It's not an elemental trio of earth, air, fire, and wood. I need to put my 3DS on charge real quick. Just noticed that the gold music has a few hey-ho's in there as a good old flashback to Inazuma 1. Love that. But yes, so as we were saying about the Void element, it has no weaknesses. And fair enough, it sounds balanced as well because it doesn't have any particular strengths. For the quick recap, Earth beats fire but loses to wind, for example, or wood loses to fire but beats air. It's simple stuff like that, whereas Void just goes even with all of them. And yeah, it doesn't sound so bad, and it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not completely broken, but it is definitely the best type. And that is partially helped, in fact, by the way that Chrono has changed the elemental impacts of players and moves. First of all, in all the previous games, duels were decided both by the element of your move and the element of your players. They both had an impact. And now, even though players do still have elements, it's only used only to calculate regular duels with no special moves involved and just same type attack bonus, and that's about it. Whereas otherwise everything comes down to the elements and the powers of the special moves and nothing more than that. And also, same type attack bonus, which used to net you like a 10 to 20% power increase if you used a move that is the same type as you, is now down quite a lot. Instead, all it does is add a solid +5 boost. So, you know, if Easy Breezy was being used, then it goes from 30 power up to 35 on Arian because he's a wind type player. But it's the same if you use like Griffin's Flamberge 150 power or whatever. That's a bad example. I don't know if it applies to fighting spirits. But you know, you could use the strongest shot in the game that's like 220 power or whatever. And then with same type attack bonus, it would go up to 225. And it does work in reverse as well. The power actually goes down by 5 if you're using a move that's not your element. So it's kind of like a 10% increase in a sense, you could say. But even still, it's actually not that big of a difference. Like if I gave Easy Breezy to someone who wasn't an air element player, then it would be 25 power. And some people praise this because it gives you more freedom to just give whatever move to any player you like with no major consequence to it. And yeah, I don't think that's such a bad thing. I've never really let elements stand in the way of what I give to players before. And case in point, Bouncing Bunny and Astro Break, despite the difference in TP, are actually both the same strength. Oh, I forgot I was supposed to be doing no special moves. But then I saw the example and I had to run with it. But yeah, both of these moves are the same power, but Bouncing Bunny would be slightly stronger on Faye. And indeed, I used my worst move in this scenario, so it got blocked, and we can go back to the original challenge. Way. Oh, apparently I used a special move with Goldie as well. Right, you know what? I just realised I've been buggering this all up. Whoops. But never mind. So the point is, same type attack bonus, not all that effective. So then Void element comes back in. If same type attack bonus doesn't have that big of a difference, and Void can't be resisted by any particular type, then basically, if your players have a certain amount of stats, there's nothing you can do about it really. He's obviously injured, so why is he so set on continuing the match?
Once he's committed to something, he won't stop until it's done. It's always been that way. He has seen too many people suffering. He's seen government officials react too late after droughts, floods, and landslides. He knows the disasters delay can bring. That's why he acts so recklessly. He makes his decision and acts on it before it's too late. That's why he's going to rule China one day. There are plenty of fools out there who smile and claim to be good leaders. But in a pinch, none of them know what to do. No one will stand up and act. He was told someone like Zhuge Liang was needed to unite China, and now he won't stop until Zhuge is on his side. He's our brother in arms, and we will lay down our lives for him if we have to.
I didn't know. It's your turn, JP. Who? Me? I'm not giving up. Protectors are there to protect, right? There are things I need to protect as well. Then I'll show you how a goalie guards his goal. No, don't boast. Too much boasting will weaken your judgment.
The most important thing is never to hesitate in the middle of the action. You can't predict the future or what direction the ball will come from. That's fine. It's fine to make a snap decision and leave it to chance.
I'm not sure that's a viable strategy. You're missing the point. The most important thing is being right and sure. All that really matters is time. But...
JP, you want to protect the things that are important to you. You can't let them slip away for want of a single second of time. I understand.
And now we will swap them around. And, you know, it's not as though Liu Bei ended up having to do anything in goal. But if he was faced with a fighting spirit, I'm fairly sure he would have succumbed. There, the spirit is still active, by the way. So let's try and get the ball off him first. Is it going to be an objective? No, we just go into free time. But he's used up so much of his gauge that I'm not too worried about this guy anymore. Fair enough, he'll be able to dribble past me. That used up a lot of his FSP, surprisingly. Well, let's just go for a slide. We'll go back to the sandbagging. I don't know why. I've been using enough special moves. Just enough of that. Let's play the game, right? Faye, back in the action. Oh no, it's time for transporter device. Yeah, it's the year 2019 at the time of recording and we still don't have teleportation devices. Why do you guys have them in the year 150 or something? Well, Eugene Peabody gets to do something in what we like to call his chapter. Do you think he could Miximax with Zhuge Liang? That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? But, yeah, I mean, you can't do that in the anime if he doesn't even get to come along. Flying fish. And we'll resume talking about Void Element. There's not a great deal to say about it. Basically, you got to imagine that if you're a goalkeeper and you're trying to organise the best team for the best match, then there's always something you can do. If you know that the strikers of your opponents are going to be using wood moves, then you can use a goalkeeper's Earth element move to try and stop it and increase the power and make that harder to do. But if the goalkeeper is using a void type move, then if it's of a certain strength, then it's just gonna go in. Or, you know, if your power is lacking, then it's just gonna go in. And indeed, it takes a lot of the chance out of duels if you are using the void type move, because you know, RNG's got to be at least a bit of a factor, or strategy has got to be at least a bit of a factor, but yeah, Void is just the play it safe one, and fair enough, it doesn't apply to many moves in the game, but it does apply to some of the best moves in the game, and that's the main thing. With Bailong's Warp Step being a dribbling mega move as one example that we've got in the dead centre of the game. Soul Daystar doesn't have any Void type moves, by the way. I just wanted to point that one out real quick. Just to once again remind you that Thunderflash gets the better end of the deal. I had to read which one was the right move to go with, because Mystic Mist, the more powerful one, is on the left. It used to be that the moves that you got by leveling up would appear on the right-hand side instead, but Gabby, are you going to go for goal like he could do if he brought out his fighting spirit Brynhilda, but he could also just do it normally because apparently characters in Chrono Stones are really fast. And that's a genuine thing, by the way. It's not just Gabby. Characters in this game are a lot quicker at running with the ball than they used to be. You know, in previous Inazuma 11 games, they used real-world physics, where if you're running around the pitch, then you can go at top speed, and if you're dribbling the ball, then you suddenly become a lot slower, because you've got to handle a ball along the way. It makes complete sense. And that is still somewhat the case here, but not to a great degree. You can still run really, really fast, even when you're dribbling. It's kind of crazy. But JP, you're going to make your first action in this match as a goalkeeper, bearing in mind the words of Liu Bei. Sometimes you can just leave it to chance, and sometimes you can use Wormhole, because Wormhole's funny. Shouldn't this be a Void type move? It is literally a Void. That is the point of the move. It is a Void. Some of the elements given to certain moves throughout the whole Inazuma 11 series can be really, really whack sometimes. Because there's only 4 elements to choose from. It's not like Pokemon where you've got 17. Sometimes there is just no fitting element for the move that you're using, and it just has to randomly count as like a fire type move or whatever. Doom Sword Slash, for example, it's purple when you fire it, but when it makes it to the goalkeeper, it's suddenly red. It used to confuse me a lot back when I was new to this series. I'd use a move and then think, why did it change colour? And yeah, like Astro Break was another one. It used to be purple and then it turns green when it makes it to the goal. And I'm like, what's that all about then? But yeah, it's all based on the elements, and it took me a bit of a while to figure that out. So I don't know if you remember what the power level on Astro Break was, but I will put that up on a caption on screen as a reminder. And now we're going to use Bouncing Buddy, which is a move that's the exact same power. It's going to be a little weaker by default just because my stamina is lower, but you should hopefully see that this was a little stronger than Astro Break, but not by a great deal, because stab, same type of attack bonus, just isn't all that impactful in Chrono Stones, but it's still something to consider. Like, you're still kind of better off using moves that are your element, but at the end of the day, a super effective move that's not your element is still going to do more than a same type attack bonus move that's of your element. Which is kind of like Pokemon, but and it makes sense, but ooh, that's a pretty good pass actually. Faye's not going to be able to do much with it though. I should just substitute at this point. Pretty much everyone on the pitch has done at least something. We've only got 25 minutes left now, we'll just run it down, but yeah, Ricardo and Roma and Victor may need to come back for whatever comes next. But mind you, we're so over-leveled that it's not making too big of a difference. I'm not happy that I've gotten this over-leveled, because there's a lot more competition routes in this game to be a tiny bit spoilery. And you have the option to get unbelievably over-leveled if you want to. Whereas it's my goal in this Let's Play to stay generally around the level that you're meant to be. But I've kind of failed that, and now I've got to find a way to get lower leveled for sense of perspective. So if another competition route crops up, which there has been, Steve's competition has a lower route now, basically just gotta not do it. But for the time being, I am over-leveled and will run with it. We have done a 4-0 victory over the Terracottas, who I did not talk about for the entire match. Why did we lose? Because you are made of wood and clay and aren't even human, I would hazard a guess at.
Proceed as per the agreement.
We're on our way! Watch out, Zhuge Liang!
He's a funny man, but I think his words are sort of inspiring. No doubt about that.
Didn't know the Terracottas were voiced by Dave Evans, and Liu Bei actually sounds quite a lot like Mark Evans as well. That was a nice conversation between both. Rainbow Bubble Burst is a long shot. I even had it on Ricardo in the last game, so that is definitely something to keep in mind, along with Asteroid, which we already collected from a chest earlier in this tower. So I'm not going to buy any of those moves, because well, when I want to use a long shot, I'll probably invest in the absolute best there is. And we've already got Gloopy Goopy Goo and Flying Fish as well, so that's already plenty. We need Liu Bei's autograph. Eugene, have you done that yet? Because we could have this guy. Well, we can't, because he's got 2 other hidden requirements. But anyway, we have taken down the terracottas and explained the void element, which belongs to you, doesn't it, Bailong? Hello, I'm still very much a fan, despite you being extremely, extremely good. In the next episode, I think we're going to make it to the top of the tower and see if our friend is waiting up there. Zhuge Liang's clumsy. Ta-ra!